those big pop-off games just like Kanina Power on day one. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to say it's anyone's game, because it isn't, okay? When we think about it logically, it isn't at all, but a few teams can get some really good performances and can contest for that top 3.
110%. That 110%. If it's mathematically possible, coming in today's 5 games, it's mathematically possible. And who are we to rule them out? Like, take the league stage. Yes, it's not the same thing, but to be fair, we had ruled out Polar Ice until that first game on the Sunday, and they had that pop-off game, and suddenly, hey, they were in the mix come their second game. So it could be the case where Blaze and Marines could absolutely pop off 3 games in a row, and suddenly they're 10 points behind Kanina Power, as an example. So definitely there's a lot to go on and unfold as you get through these games.
Yeah. I'm happy, no Northwestern Circle. Thank you very much. Teams will have to somewhat rotate, especially Na'Vi and 12-18, so I'm going to be pretty happy about this one. As going to be seen Alliance actually going for Strat that we saw them do a few days ago. They're going to send Ruda and Headache a little bit further down because they know that area is not contested, and just to maybe allow and facilitate further on rotations.
Yeah, and it is going to make it a bit more accessible for Kanina Power and Godsend to go for that rotation on the eastern side. Kanina Power doing what they did previously as well by dropping into military base or military island, then they'll rotate over the bridge and go to Milta. I'm wondering if they'll do the same thing that they did previously and look to bridge Camp Marines Force and pick up a couple of kills there. It worked out for them the last time they did it, and it even worked out in the end game for them. And considering they do have to be aware and they do have to still gather those points to keep that distance against Snakes and Godsend, I think they're going to be looking to pull off that strat of bridge camping.
I agree, and I'm also going to be trying to go double down on what you just mentioned, Imperium. The fact is, Class Game, they're currently above them in second position, right? They got the exact same position total points, but currently, Class Game got 80. And you know what? Oh, well, actually, you know what? I might actually talk about the rules a little bit later on. That's 12-18 going to be clashing early on with Na'Vi. It's a little bit of a game of Mad Max early on as Nugget's going to get chased down. But can they find the kills? Is he going to crash somewhere? Is just going to continue in the future? No, it's not going to be peeked down. He had no weapons whatsoever. 12-18 going to get clashed, and they have vengeance for what happened on day 2.
Okay.
That was interesting. Are they going to chase it now? Oh, okay. I guess they are, Imperium. They're full sending it. They're trying to run away. 12-18. No, I don't care. Your CIS team with brothers normally, but 12-18 are going to get chased down by Old Boy himself. As I believe 12-18's got no weapons whatsoever here because they're just leaving the entire scene. Like, that was an interesting drop in location. Easy shot from a distance will not connect, but what an interesting interaction early on. God damn.
So, this is Na'Vi going, we've already won. Why not just for the love of it, for the poops and giggles, so to speak, just I'm not gonna say target certain teams, but they're just full sending it, right? They're going for the kills, or they see, they spray, if they go down, that kind of thing. And yeah, it feels bad for 12-18, but they do survive as a 3-man team, so I don't think it'll hurt them as much.
Yeah, I was reading already there for that kind of fight to happen. But like going back to them, what I was mentioning on my poor of Kanina Power and Class currently, they have 80 kills compared to 76 for Kanina Power. And the rule set is that if you have the same points at the end of the day, the number of kills is what's going to be allowing you to take that number 1 spot above the other team. So at the end of the day, if they just want to have a little bit of an insurance blanket and make sure that they do overtake Class in case they are on equal standings, kills could be important. I think that Kanina positioning themselves potentially to bridge camp could be a viable option for them.
110%. And like I said to Calaris, I was talking to Reese yesterday, and he said to me, greatest comeback of all time, gonna happen tomorrow, just you watch.
Really?
Then he followed it up with, go big or go home tomorrow for us, going for 2 or 3 big wins with big plays. I don't know what he exactly means by big plays, but he didn't have to tell me that, right? He didn't have to make that statement to me, but him saying that to me, I don't know what it is, but there's something about that where I'm like, I can get on board with that. I don't know if it's going to work out, but god damn it, if they know they have to put up those big games, and they had a 66-point day yesterday, I'm looking forward to see what they can do today.
Yeah, that's the mindset of a champion. You love to see it. Hopefully, it'll be rewarding in the long run. As Corsair are going to try and move away for Blaze Esports, a team that I did put in the running for potentially making it into this top 3 today. But they cannot allow to lose Corsair early on. They're going to go for a little distance spray, but it's not connect. But I did see the kill feed. Oshtek Crows and World of Wonders clashing a little bit. And as I say that, we'll pan on over to the fight, as Groza will be swiftly taken away from Oshtek Crows' composition. And that's going to be turned into a 3v4 Imperium, where currently Oshtek Crows are cornered from the edge of Yasnaya Polyana down south, right behind the fields.
And for World of Wonder, again, like they do have that risk of having Zesty across the road, which he's not going to be able to do that much should he get caught out. So that's something that World of Wonders have tried to use in the past, but it's gone against them. It's on the other side of the road, and Ozchek do have the higher ground, which is, in my opinion, giving them a bit more of a pinch over World of Wonder as of right now, unless World of Wonders can use those walls to their advantage.
Yeah, and Oshtek Crows, the fact that they got this high gun in a position is going to give them a lot of viable information, maybe delaying and making that rotation a little bit harder to pull off for World of Wonders. But World of Wonders, especially where Keys was there, you saw him, he was fine behind a wall, and grenades, if Last has any, could have a really big underlying issue for the side of World of Wonders. But Never Alone's got a little sneaky angle too, but Enjoy 7 going to go down. As I said it, Never Alone, that angle is going to pay off pretty heavily. And now making the tides of the fight go in both teams' favor. 3v3 currently happening. Enjoy 7 in a really tricky spot to pull off that res. And Never Alone, that was a good position. World of Wonders, you know, thinking, do we take this? Are we going to take the risk? And I think they might even try and disengage this.
That was definitely a nice, clean little bait that came out from Oshtek Warriors, but Last on top of the roof going, oh, come shoot at me. Come closer, child. Come closer, child. And then Never Alone is on the corner going, ha-ha, I'm here. And takes out, so... Yeah, got him. So it was really good play by Oshtek Warriors, and you're right. World of Wonders, they should just look to disengage, and there's plenty of space around Yasnaya. Plus, with Yasnaya kind of around the center of the circle, it is important that they do look to either hold on to the very edge of Yasnaya or disengage away from it completely.
It does, like, no, I don't get triggered much, Imperium. Like, you know me, I'm a pretty chill guy. I don't rage.
You are.
Unless I'm playing, you know, PUBG and I die because I'm bad at the game, but that's another thing. Another thing. But like, Yasnaya is so big, you can easily have 2 teams, and I think that like Oshtek Crows and World of Wonders could have easily, throughout the entirety of this tournament, never fought and still drop in Yasnaya. They want to go for fights, which, you know, I respect that, but I think there was no underlying reason to do those pushes sometimes.
So we have quite a few teams converging towards the center circle. You see Godsend, you have Naix, 2 teams. It's 4th and 5th, baby, and they're fighting up against each other in the early parts of this game.
Yeah, you know what we talked about earlier, good to come down this sheet to 1 single point, so this fight might be having a huge impact for the entirety of this game. Godsend, they know, they've done their homework. They know this is Naix Congenials. They know that if they take this win, this could be potentially giving them such a bigger edge on those top 5 positions to make it into the top 3. As Godsend though, they know that grenades will be coming their way. They're in a position where grenades could just roll down that little hilltop and make themselves really prone to taking damage. Rolk is trying to full send it, but the M16 of Malloy will be on point. As Godsend will be losing their very first player, there will be Rolkish trying to send it as a one-man team there. Maybe not the play we were expecting. Navy's going to be over there also with his grenade, trying to find an initial knockdown onto Naix Congenials. But where's the rest of Godsend? Like, they're just sending it one by one. Not really what I'm expecting from this team.
Yeah, I know Reeds is in the backline, the off angle, but you should have full sent as a full squad because they knew a player from Naix had kind of disengaged away, although Vitamin gets spotted out by Reeds. Navy's taking a 1v2.
Oh my god, and he's going to be able to reload, switching over to the start, and then the off-angle of Marley's going to be paying off. This is the play of Godsend we want to see. Now it's down to 1 player, and you said it right, 1 player of Naix Congenials disengaged from the fight.
Godsend.
You know, got double knockdown. You know it's a one-man team. Send the entire squad. What are you guys doing? Take it too long. They're going to go for the crash. Might be able to get Jackie. Jackie will indeed get res back up. Fitz's to Jackie might be the redeeming factor for the team. Jackie going to get knocked away. He's going to be bullied once again. It's down to 1 player in this compound as Pitz's Vitamin got taken down early as he was rotating away from the compound. There you go. It's going to be the fight. Godsend take it. Naix Congenials eliminated. This is a huge L Imperium, knowing how intense today is going to be. Godsend, this was a huge fight.
If there was ever a team to squad up at the start of Game 1 of the final day of the EMEA League Finals for Godsend, it was Naix. That's instantly their nearest competitor. The team ahead of them wiped off the floor. This is insane, but can Godsend follow suit? Yes, they've got 4 kills, but they do still need to be aware of the fact that they are center-ish of this phase 2. They've got lots of teams around them.
Yeah, there was a little bit of mushiness into that fight. Easily a few things you can iron out. But I think, it's morning. They're drinking their coffee. It's getting in their veins. They're getting used to it. It's fine. They're getting into the vibe in Pyramid. They're getting there. But at the end, that was still a really clean fight from Godsend. They had a little mistake of it sending Rockets too early. Then they made up for it in pretty good timing. So good stuff.
And the thing you got to think about is, what is that going to do to Nake's mentality, right? They've just been squad wiped by the team behind them. Is that going to put too much pressure on them in Game 2, Game 3, Game 4? Is that going to be the straw that broke the camel's back from that point of view? We talk about the mental game in competitive gaming and in PUBG Mobile. I want Nakes to just take a step back, go, yeah, okay, Game 1, forget about it. We've got 4 more games to bounce back.
Oh, Rakili is going to be joining up on the Yasnai Poliana versus Shostek Warriors. Not going to be too much of an issue. But I wanted to ask you a question, Imperium, actually. About that sentence you just said, the straw that breaks the camel's back. How does a straw break a camel's back? I always ask myself that, and I do not know how.
Because do you want me to explain the metaphor?
You don't know either, right? It's not just me. Let's just check. I just want to check, it's fine.
Because sometimes something so small can be the ending of something much bigger. So something small like that squad wipe could be the reason why Naix don't perform well in Game 2, don't perform well in Game 3, Game 4, Game 5. So those 4 big games of the camel, that squad wipe was a straw. That could be the straw that broke the camel's back.
Okay, I like that definition, actually, Imperium. They should add that one to the dictionary. But with that said, we're going to be having the circle closing up once again. The coastline, I believe, well, I was going to say was not going to be taken in the vicinity of the next circle, but I guess I jinxed that one on the circle a little bit. You know what? The first team that will be taking a really good position, that's Alliance. But I remember in the scrims a few days ago, we had an exact same position held by Alliance, and they actually lost it because they were not aggressive enough. So I'm expecting a lot of aggressive pushes from Alliance to make sure teams do not get close to their position.
There's not too many compounds around there. Alliance are looking ahead, I think, for a 2-2 split around there. But there's a lot of open terrain, and if 3 or 4 squads are around you and you can't control it, if you can't be aggressive, proactive enough, or threading that kind of needle, it could go against you. But I like how proactive Alliance are being. Iraq Elite are rotating really nicely in the north of Yasnaya. How are Godsend going to play around this? Mansion is free for now. They can head towards Mansion and get some information from there.
Top tier driving, Marley. We didn't see that, don't we? We close our eyes. It's okay. But like down south, you got all the teams, normally rotations, normal stuff. Then up north, you got Navi, like literally the definition of chilling up north. Like all the rest of the team, and then you got Navi up there.
Wow. Okay.
You don't want to get involved with these other EMEA teams. Nah. We're taking the high ground, literally.
Blaze have a 3-1 split, as far as I know at the moment, and they're looking pretty good positionally inside the circle. I'm a big fan of that 3-1 split, but they do have to be aware that those 3 players in that one compound could be at risk, but that's why they've been nice. Whoa. They were kind of proactive on that. They caught out the last player of Oztech, and down they go. It was only 1 player, but at the end of the day, that's really good for Blaze because they realized, look, we've got a core compound in the circle. We can't let anybody get close to it.
Normally it's boom goes the dynamite, but there was boom goes the Raz, and that's the Oztech Warriors eliminated in 15th place. Now, another team that I mentioned at the very start of the broadcast, right, that I think can fight for that top 3, so definitely to represent the Turkish team to their full-on extent of their capacity. Blaze Esport might be able to do so. No 3 kills are definitely going to be really viable. As Class Game, a team currently in 2nd position, going to have a little bit of an encounter on their side of the map, which is going to be on the southern western edge. And Godsend actually got chased a little bit by Class, but no, Godsend, they were like, no, what, we don't want to take a fight outside in the blue, going to aim for circle and just rotate away from Class, which I think that was a great call from Godsend.
It was. It was a good call, but disengaging away from Mansion is always a little bit challenging.
They don't see that? No way, they don't see that? Oh my god, there you go. That's the Lord that's going to be taken down. This is a pretty easy compound to crash in Pyramid. I think we can both agree with that one. So World of Wonders, if they want to go for the push. There you go. The crash is coming out. Shaquille is going to be sending that one on solo. But unfortunately, solo maybe not the best option for him, as grenades will be flying on by. And I think that might just be a kill confirm onto the side of Keys. It's World of Wonders. Where's the rest of the team? Are you going to full send it? That grenade had a weird path, but you know what? That's fine. It's going to be the kill confirm over to Frag Machines. And Frag Machines now, they got the rest on Lord. It's a 3v2. World of Wonders. They're like, oh, what do? We run. Leave.
Max, phase 3
What the circle?
Look at that shift. Yeah, hard shift. That's so hard for Godsend. It's not too hard for Blaze because it already had that one player split up in the circle, so that's automatic real estate. That's automatic position on the edge of the southern circle. Alliance rotated back on over to the west to be on the eastern edge of this circle, and World of Wonder can disengage as a two-man team and then wrap around to head on over to the west, and that's what I recommend Godsend could do. I think Godsend should actually go into the blue zone and wrap around. I know they might not have the information, but wrap around, go into the blue zone on the edge of Yasnaya and come in on the northwest side of the circle.
Be a pretty passive way to go for it. So Rakili gonna get shut down. Ragnar can be put pretty low. Unfortunately, Raz, I believe, will be just a pile of scrap at some point as they keep shooting down on it. Gonzo, a player that you mentioned to me, Imperium, before we went live on this broadcast, a player that you want to look out for the side of Canina Power. Yeah. But I'm going to say look out to the Wildcats team as they're going to be caught out mid-rotation. They're going to struggle on that southern eastern edge. So Acer looking for that DP28 shot. He was deadly on yesterday's games. They're going to be going for the crash, and that was a little bit literal, but you know what? They're going to confirm that kill. That's going to be headquarters, crashing their way through into the southern side. They're still in the vicinity of the circle, but everyone is like, all hell is breaking loose in the southern side. Imperium. Everyone is rotating, trying to get a good position, but there's not many compounds to fight for in there.
No, there's not really many compounds to fight for. It's more elevated, high ground, low ground, hills with a couple of trees to play for. So if you do have 2-3 vehicles, in your back pocket, so to speak, using those is going to be so important on these kind of circles.
I'm going to say this kind of fight, this mayhem happening in the southern side is huge potential for one team, and that's going to be Blaze Esport, right? They got all the teams in their vicinity, they got them in their scopes. If they can snatch a few more frags, they got like 3 or 4 so far, I do believe, and they can just think of grabbing even more on the Wildcats, on headquarters, on Canina Power, even Godsend and 1218. All the teams will have to rotate close in some way, shape, or form to Blaze Esport. And a big kill game might be the reason why they make it to the top 3 and make it to the Global Championships. So at the end, Blaze, if they're able to capitalize on this opportunity, they could convert it in a really first strong performance.
Marines Force, Iraqi Elite, they're on the southeast side. They're behind Alliance, so Alliance will have a lot to deal with come the next phase. They are being proactive, though, at least with Sunrise getting in clean lockdown. Canina Power, they did join back up as a 3-man team after losing one player, but they're outside the circle.
Yeah, indeed. Iraqi Elite gonna have to try and do something. If they got some cars, you know, maybe an easy way to just push directly onto the side of Marines Force and get close enough to get some grenades through. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a fight. It's going to be pretty intense, but damn.
Max.
Yeah.
Godsend. The one compound inside the circle that was unoccupied, Godsend, I believe, got the information and full sent into that compound. Yeah. They're making it work for now. They do have to be aware that frag machines are ahead of them, though.
Yeah, that's going to be indeed the case. Canina Power, they're like, oh, Marine Force just going to be trying to cruise on by. Gonzo will get picked up, unfortunately, midway. Black-White will also have the same fate as Gonzo. That's going to be a double frag on the side of Canina Power. Acer, I do believe, is the last man standing for his team, so he's going to try and just remain and snake his way through. The circle shifts back over to Alliance, but now, Iraqi Elite, they know they've got no other option. They've got no choice in the matter. They got to push it towards Marine Force. But once again, I'm seeing a lot of solo pushes happening today. World of Wonders did it. Godsend did it too. Why are we not seeing these 14 crashes on these compounds to take those fights?
Teamwork makes the dream work. The man advantage would always prove overpowering for most teams. Iraqi Elite, you have Marines Force, they're on the eastern edge, one inside the circle, one outside the circle. With that shift, Alliance are dead center of this phase 5.
Yeah, Alliance like, nice. Just having a fun time in the dead center. They got the only compound also remaining in this circle, so they've got to try and defend it. World of Wonders will get eliminated, picked up by Tixie with a mini 14. And that's going to be Navi once again starting to pop off into the kill feed. But now they're going to be struggling quite a decent amount. They've got to go a little bit uphill, right? In a 2-2 split. This is going to be pretty hard for Navi all around. But Iraqi Elite, the longer they take their time, and the circle's going to start pushing them over that lip of the hill, making themselves potentially easy pickings for the side of Marines Force. As Navi going to try and make their way into the fight. Actually going to go for the third party one. An aggressive push from Navi. We said it right at the start of this game. Yeah. They're already so comfortable. Why the hell not? Navi can do whatever the hell they want and will still pull it off.
Canina Power out. 3rd and 4th are out of the game. Godsend have the chance to rack up the points as Navi engages onto Iraqi Elite. Third parties, but Marine Force now have another team to face.
Oh my god, Tiggsy, you gotta calm down, my dude. There you go, Oracularly eliminated Abe. He's fighting for the MVP spot, right? They're all fighting in Na'Vi like, oh, I want an MVP, I want that 6K. No, no, no. Tiggsy is not gonna allow that to happen. And now they're signing himself in a pretty similar position to where the side of Oracularly actually are. So they gotta try and ease their way through while they're getting sprayed down heavily by the other CIS team that is Alliance.
Godsend have 8 kills so far in this game.
Woo.
Blaze have 5. But Blaze have lost another player and they're down to 2. Just Kudor and Tron, and they've 12 AD to the west of them.
Boom! There you go. That's a knock and a flush. And Na'Vi, they take 2 teams down. They take down Marines Force. They take down the Oracularly. They're not messing around, Imperium. They are showing once again the CIS domination style.
L to the Razor goes a little bit too close to comfort. And Roof helps Godsend by taking out one of the class players. Now it's just Silas left on his own, but he's in the blue. He's nowhere near this circle.
When you think about it, too, Godsend got a great position. They got a lot of rocks. They got a few mini compounds, basically, with those cars, how they position them. And also, they're controlling all the teams that rotate late over the road. That's why they got so many kills in this mid-game stage. Looking really smart, Godsend, on that spot. But Alliance, once again, it comes down to them. They're dead center. They got information on all the teams around. Sure, right now, they got a good position. But is it going to be too much for Alliance to deal with on the long term?
That's what I'm kind of thinking. But as the circle shifts away,
Godsend.
It's funny enough that I believe this circle shift is good for Alliance because now they're not in the center. Now they can kind of hover around inside the compound, maybe punish the likes of Na'Vi and Frag as they look to move into the circle a little bit more, and then they can move in on the eastern side.
I want to see from Alliance what Na'Vi did yesterday on that finishing on the trifecta circle. No, it's actually on day 2, I believe. And I want to see exactly that coming out from Alliance before making your way first inside the circle, eliminate whatever the hell is happening behind you and also what's happening up north. So far, you're going to have that split coming up from Na'Vi, trying to find your early angles. The smokes will buy a lot of precious time for Na'Vi, but at the end of the day, they're the team that currently are heavily pressured by this position. But one thing I've got to mention, Imperium, Blaze Esport are still in this game. Another team fighting for this top 3. They need a good result, but the nades of 12-18 will potentially come on through very soon as Class Game, a team that was in the top 3, currently get eliminated in 8th.
Ooh, Godsend looking for a cheeky third party. That's okay, but they can't thread it too deep as old boy gets knocked down. The fight between Alliance and Na'Vi rages on.
This is why I want to see a full send-in team fight and breaching onto Alliance. They're still down to 3 players, but at the end of the day, they're going to have a few players going down themselves. The nades, the utility, and the shots of Alliance all looking crispy as hell, as Tixie will be the next one going down for the side of Na'Vi, and Alliance taking down the CIS opposition. Down to 1 player is going to be Meku. Wartran just retreat. Unfortunately, that car is not in really good working condition, Imperium, and he's going to be locked down outside of the circle.
And this is great for Godsend as well. They've taken out Kudor. Now just 1 player left standing for Blaze Esports. They're on 6 kills. Godsend are on 10 kills in this game. Like I said, I was talking to Reeves. They're looking for those pop-off games. They're in the top 6, but can they get the 2nd chicken dinner in a row for Godsend after winning the last game yesterday?
Hey, Reeves of Godsend is the truth teller. He did not lie whatsoever. He reads in the future. Tolika, unfortunately, I'm a little bit scared because he's what we call in a Shack.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Shack's having issues. Grenades. Boom goes the grenade, and Tolika is out. 12-18 eliminated. Also here, once again, not an extra kill. They also confirm a position in top 5.
Yes.
Also, this is great for Blaze. Relieves a little bit more pressure. Tron to maybe sneaky snake his way closer to a decent position inside the circle itself. But I think the Godsend are not going to allow that to happen.
And because they're on the lower part of the ground, they can kind of peek and shoot up a little bit more confidently as Meku gets a knockdown onto Alliance.
Yeah, there's actually going to be also Frag Machine's getting a little bit involved on the northern side. Didn't talk too much about them. They're not really in the fight for this top 3 position, but still respectable attempt. They've been shown a way better amount of results as of recently, so still big respect to the Frag Machine squad remaining as a 2-man team. We'll try and go for the res. As Tron, he understands in front of him is Godsend. He does not want to give kills, so he's like, you know what? I might just go down to the blue zone, and I think that's a really good decision making of Tron to not give extra kills to Godsend because it might just come down to that 1 kill point difference.
Down goes Blaze. We're into the top 4. Godsend are pretty close to the circle, but nobody is currently inside this phase. And because it's all open, you have to be so careful as Meku sprays onto Alliance.
As Alliance took too long. Oh, no, okay, not anymore. Thank you very much. Alliance say thank you very much and just reach their hand outwards to Frag Machines. Na'Vi will get taken out in 4th position. Still really strong performance. Really good consistency over the board in these finals coming out from this team from the CIS region. The Alliance now trying to just bandage up, heal up from their wounds, and make their way inside the circle. But Imperium, what an intense first game. Godsent fighting for this position. All the teams who are fighting around them like this, continuous Na'Vi, they're all gone. This is their battlegrounds. This is their grassy pastures, as Kalash would like to say. And now Frag Machine's going to have to go for the push dead center.
And I love the fact that Navy's actually outside the circle, protecting behind the area for Godsent, but the sprays are coming out from Reeves. Nice clean knockdown onto Lord.
And what if they're able to eliminate Frag Machines, they might be able, there you go, Frag Machine go down. This actually little crash that they had on that crate, they might actually be able to use it. They got 12 kills, Godsent push on forward, take their position on top of the crates, and then you should be good to go. But also Alliance, really respectable attempt. 8 kills to their name. A Headache going to potentially try and make it behind that wall, behind that tree, and get rezzed up himself. But Alliance, they used so much utility earlier, moving away from that compound versus Meku of Na'Vi. I think they have no more to spare. I think they're going to have to just wing it with literally no utility.
And look at that spread by Godsent. One in the center, one in the left, one to the right. They have all angles covered. Reeves with the nade, looking to cook it up behind a tree. Not quite going to connect onto Discran.
Oh, the aggressiveness playstyle of Godsent has been paying off so hard. Some more utility will get traded off. Unfortunately for them, it's not going to work out. Headache, despite not having any smokes, no utility, they will be normally able to get it up, which I do like, as Marley making his way towards Sunrise. The moment he sees that one pick sort of place, he will get it. Headache going to be peeked away by Reeves himself. Going to go for the shot. That's going to give a lot of information on where the hell Sunrise is. Oh! If he's a pick sort of place, but Sunrise is able to find out to Marley, and that's going to be the kill confirmed. But Alliance down to one single play, Imperium, and it shall be Discrim, as his ally Headache will get flushed away. No res for you, my friend. And now Godsent, they know, okay, it's a one-man team. We got the smokes coming out. We got the information. We deny visibility away from Alliance. Those smokes are huge plays coming out potentially from Godsent. And now the utility shall still get chucked on over. But Discrim, the 1v2, knows where Reeves is. That grenade might be on point. It is on point indeed. The Irishman himself is out. As now turned to a 1v1 between Navy and Discrim. But if Godsent take this win, they're once again going to be heavily in the run for this top 3 position. And Alliance, if they take it, maybe put himself also in a decent spot to fight for that top 3. But it's still going to be really hard. Going for the push. The trees in favor of Discrim is going to be depending on the gunshots. Who's going to be the best individual play of this game? Nice dodges coming out from Navy, and Navy will be able to take it. Godsent take their second chicken dinner of the league finals. This is exactly what they need to make it over to the Global Championship.
What a game. What a performance. Heart on their sleeves, the power in their hands, the kills, the position, the movement. Insane by Godsent. John said it. I said it. You can talk about CIS, you can talk about Turkey all you want, but EU is still in the running. They're still fighting for the top 3.
Hey, speed, violence, momentum. We had absolutely everything. And I think personally, Kalaris, those grassy pastures, they delivered for Godsent.
Oh, yes, they did. Hell, it was Godsent that delivered for Godsent. Let's be perfectly honest about this. And as you're saying, Imperium, they come out swinging. This is a great opportunity for them, all things considered.
It kind of reminds me, if you hark back to PMWL, when Jonathan said, you know, when he gets kills early game, it gives him confidence, it gives him kind of momentum. The first squad wipe onto Naix, that was just a rush of blood to the side of Godsent, and they played the rest of that game so nicely on the southern part of those circles.
Yeah, very well done, very calculated, very controlled. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'll get you back here coming into our next couple of battlegrounds as we are done with our Erangel. Godsent are now making this very, very competitive up towards the top. John Blank joining me on here, and John, I will give you the honors of talking about this first, because we wanted to see it. We wanted to see this rise up from our 4th and 5th teams. Unfortunately for our 4th team, they went out very quickly at the hands of our 5th team, and we have Godsent now. Push it on.
Exactly. In a race, you know, what better way to start things out than these two teams clashing head to head? And it was kind of almost exactly the way that we sort of described these teams as well. You know, you have Nike's Congenials sat in the Alamo, in that compound, and then up rock Godsent trying to make that proactive play. You know, Nike's playing their passive, consistent style. They were just disallowed from doing so from Godsent, who were going for their more aggressive, proactive style. It's perfect. It's exactly the way that we wanted to see these things pan out. And it's a great start for Godsent with Kanina Power going down early as well.
Let's take a look at the points coming in and see eventually how that is going to fare in terms of our overall 30 points going Godsent's way. It's such a big amount of points coming in for them to try and push up to that top 3. Alliance with 21 points. They had a great compound position and were able to hold it get down against the invaders in Na'Vi that were playing a very sweepy style blank with that 16 points going their way.
It's a big lead. It's a big lead from.
Oh, it's a big lead.
It's a big lead. But for Na'Vi, I love their playstyle, and you know it's very much sweeping mentality coming down all the way from the north side. They understand what parts of the zone they control, and then you could see Old Boy in the back, very, very observant, using like all the vision around him to his advantage because he can check out if there's any players behind him. They saw him leave him behind actually on the northern side, so he could check, make sure there was no other teams rotating in from Stal. But as soon as they saw that, you saw them just kick into an absolutely different gear as they were just flying towards compound, just removing people left, right, and center. Just this death squad, almost 4 Godsent, hired by Godsent to get rid of a lot of the players on the other side. Very, very much unfortunate, but really well played to Godsent overall in that game. And it was such a fantastic way, as John mentioned it, to start that one off, taking down Nikes.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. 2,400 damage coming in here from Godsent to be able to continue their campaign on down towards that southwest side of this circle. You got Alliance there with that 2,400 almost as well. It's nice to see Alliance being able to hold off certain situations. Here we take a look at the highlights, and from the very word go, John, Na'Vi was having none of it. It's Mad Max Fury Road.
Go back here, I'm getting you killed. Give me that point right now. That's what they said. They were going out for an absolutely mad one. Oh. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, Na'Vi, it seems like they maybe have felt that confidence, that comfortability of being so far in the lead right now. And that was demonstrated there. Comfortability, that's a word, right? I don't know. I'll have to double check. I'll go to my dictionary afterwards. But it's, you know, it's great to see that they're able to lean into that and able to keep that in mind and have the confidence to be able to just go for that ride or die kind of play, because they didn't necessarily know where the rest of 12-18 were. They probably had an inkling, and they actually tried to chase down the rest of them on the back of it, so they weren't quite able to do that. But I want to recall just a little bit about the ending as well of that game, because that was absolutely insane, right? The way that he was snaking up, trying to, you know, army crawl his way up to the tree, and then the smoke fades, and then he's like, uh-oh.
Exact time.
Yeah, it was, I didn't quite expect it to go down the way it did, but that's how it's going to play out here. Here's Godsent just being able to control a certain little compound that they were able to use. A lot of pre-nading here onto vehicles throughout this game to try and kind of scarper some people's abilities to crash into stuff, and some of them worked out blank, so that was nice to see too.
Some of them did work out. It's some really fantastic players. I think Frag Machines did it the best, honestly. They had a really nice little nade coming through. And you can see here, just the nades going through the building. Na'Vi's already forgotten about those 2 players in the tower because they know they're already dead. Their lives on a timer. Unfortunately, they do go out here. Despite everything, this was a crazy crash as well. They'd just been crashing. So it was only a matter of time before, you know, the scales no longer favored them.
Yeah, and as you're watching this crash go down, I think it's very important that Alliance had someone on the wall. If you have everybody in your building, right, then you've got this position where you allow them to have the wall, and then they have some decent cover from the very word go to Na'Vi. Yeah. But having someone right there ready to greet them as they crash, I think was very important.
Yeah, it was one of the very few positions from which they could tackle that crash, so it was great to see Alliance with the awareness of how they needed to hold down that compound. It was unfortunate that they took a knock that we just saw towards the end just before they had to move in. That was their sort of play that they were going for, but Frag Machines decided that they were going to stop that dead in its tracks, and they were able to get pretty far, and to be fair to Alliance, they nearly did actually win it on the back, but it just was not to be. You know, Happy Feet just a little bit too strong. He's been on the dance floor, hit the tiles, disco moves.
Hitting those wombo combos, I think, very, very nicely done. We got ourselves as well now, Navy towards the end. He was the guy that was doing the little wiggle up towards the tree at the end, I believe, and manages to win out that against Alliance there, blank.
He was the same guy that had almost a 1v3 versus Nikes in the beginning as well. But yeah, this was just crazy. The fact that so many shots missed him onto Navy was crazy. certainly the hero from this team. Give that boy a medal, indeed. So, but fantastic stuff though overall. I really liked to see what Godsent did that game. Again, we mentioned they needed to be proactive to make it happen. Nikes, on the other hand, they just sat pretty, and as much as pretty looks good, it doesn't win you games.
And with a Scar-L of all guns towards the end there. Not the most common of choices.
No.
Maybe they had a little bit of less loot than they would normally have. Normally you're thinking the M4s, normally you're thinking some of the other guns, but a cheeky Scar-L. Let's take a look at the overall damage coming on in here as well from this game and see who's been able to stack up to our 2,400s that were up at the top. We have Na'Vi with 1,500. I figured they might have done a little bit more considering that sweep style blank, but I do like the style that they were playing there. And also the big wide rotation coming in from the north to try and then enable that sweeping style.
Oh yeah, you could see the big brain on those guys just from the beginning of that game. Obviously, they dumbed it down a little bit once they got into full smoke mode towards the end, which is absolutely fine. I don't mind that too much. But just very quickly though, just looking at Godsent, those 15 kills were monumental.